So today we're going to do another video on the solar RGB. So here recently, if you guys been staying along, we unboxed the solar RGB. We did an unboxing of that video, and then we also did a setup with the stand, and then I kind of went through and kind of talked about the solar RGB more in depth. And because the one thing about my channel that I try to do is I'm obviously a big ADA person, so if you're not a subscriber, if you love ADA, definitely subscribe. That's pretty much all I do now. All my stuff's ADA. Huge, probably one of the biggest ADA people when it comes in, in the United States, for sure. I make sure I make every video I can on ADA products because there's just no good videos on ADA products, at least here in the United States. There's some here and there, but when it comes to actual products that matter, especially stuff that costs, a lot of money, like the lights, the filter, etc., lily pipes, tanks, all the good stuff that everybody is not sure on spending the money on. That's why my channel is here, so I can show you guys these high-end products and show you guys why they're worth the money, or maybe they're not worth it to you. So it just kind of gives you guys a more in-depth video. And today is going to be the last video on the solar RGB. And the thing I want to test today is the PAR. So I already did this, so I already know what it runs, but I wanted to make a video for you guys so you guys can kind of get a rough idea of what kind of PAR this light is putting out. Obviously, it's going to put out a lot of PAR, but just so you guys can get kind of a rough idea, so you guys can kind of gauge your own tanks and see how much PAR it may put up in your tank. So obviously this is a 90p here, and everybody pretty much hangs their lights roughly about 30 centimeters, which is about 12 inches. And that's exactly what I got mine at. So 12 inch by the tank. Obviously a 90p is about 20 inches high, about 45 centimeters high for you guys that aren't in the United States. And obviously 3 foot long or 90 centimeters again. So most people, the smallest tank they'll put this particular light on, it's about a 60p, and not a lot of people are even doing that. So that's honestly some of the more crazy people like me. But obviously a 90p works well, and then of course 120p, you'd probably need a couple of those for sure to run that tank, and obviously 180p, you're probably looking at 3 of them. So obviously a 60p is going to be a little bit shallower, but a 90p is going to be about 45 centimeters, like I said, roughly about 18-20 inches in that range. So just to give you guys ideas, so you guys can kind of match the depth and do a little bit of math yourself and see and roughly guess what your guys' PAR may be in your own tanks. So I'll stop talking here and I'll get the PAR. So basically the PAR I'm using today, the Quantum Flex, this is basically the best PAR meter out there. I mean, there's more insane ones, but this one is pretty much the most high dollar one, honestly. It's the nicest one. I mean, when people own PAR meters, this is pretty much the one they will own. So it runs about 500 or 600. BRS is a big seller on these. I'm not sure if anybody else sells them. I'm sure they do. I just know BRS has this one. And of course it comes with attachments thing here, and then you can extend this stick as long as you need it to. So obviously I just got the handle on there, so I don't need it too long today. But so I'll get you guys kind of closer, and I'll kind of hopefully I can kind of show you guys at the same time so you guys can see I'm not the greatest at this, clearly. So obviously we turn it on here. Obviously it's going to read the PAR just right there. So what I'm going to do first is go to the deepest part of the, actually, well, let's do the surface first. So you guys can kind of see. So right at the surface, again, at about 12 inches high, we go right at the surface. So right at the surface, let's see if it'll stabilize for you guys. So it's kind of fluctuating, but I'm kind of shaking too. So basically, it's running about 4 to 450 at the surface. So that's quite a lot. So definitely, take in consideration that, especially when you have shallower tanks on this. You may even have to raise this light higher. But again, for most of the time, for the 60p and the 90p, and of course all the size ups, everybody's hanging this light about 30 centimeters. So the deepest part of tank. So in consideration, the substrate in the middle is roughly about 3 to 4 inches high, so it might be about 16 inches or so. So I'll give you guys that right now. So let's see, right in the dead center, so obviously right under the light. We'll see what we get here. So basically the lowest part of the tank, right under the light, we're looking at right about the 130, 134, 135. So pretty good. I mean, that's about for high-tech tanks, about 150 is what we shoot for. So that's about right. I mean, obviously you don't want, it's not like a coral reef or anything where we're going for 300-400 PAR. Obviously in plant tanks we do not need that much light. So the 150 is pretty good. So let's see, and then let's go to the tallest. Let's go to the corners. Let's see we'll go to each corner here, because obviously the light, it's not gonna. Obviously this light has pretty good spread compared to obviously a lot of other lights, but we'll still see what this one reads in the corners. So all the way in the corner, we're getting about right in the 80s, low 80s. So again, it's still pretty decent. I mean, for any plants you're ever gonna grow, that is still really good. So I'll just kind of quickly go to the other corners. I think they're all gonna read about 80. So you can see in some of the taller corners, hopefully you guys can see that again, like reading that 130 again. And then at my tallest part of my tank, where I got the hill right here, not that it really matters because your guys' tanks might not have this. So the tallest part, obviously it's in the corner again, so the light's not reaching, but it's getting around, right at 100 in that corner there. But like I was saying, right in dead center where the light is, obviously that's where it's going to be most intense. Yeah, we're getting that, almost 140 area. So yeah, so hopefully that gives you guys kind of a good idea. I know that's not the greatest, test, but it's better than nothing. There's a lot of videos out here that test par, but none of them are English, none of them are from the United States like I am. So hopefully this gives you guys kind of just a quick rundown of what to kind of expect, so you guys can kind of use my measurements at the, at the heights and kind of justify what you guys may be. But either way, I mean, this light, whatever tank you have, it's going to do well. So I mean, that's definitely not, but I know some people are really strict on what their par is and really want to know what their par is and are real finicky about that. Me, I'm not so much. I know what these tanks, I mean, from other people experience. I know that's why I hung this tank exactly 30 centimeters, because that's been working for ADA and themselves, Green Aqua, other nature shops, for example. Everybody hangs this light exactly the same, so I'm not going to do nothing different. I'm going to do exactly what they're doing because it works for them as well. So, but yeah, 12 inches for a Solar RGB seems about right, perfect. I'd even consider, depending on how low your tank, I would maybe lower even a little bit more. I've seen people even go about 10 to 8 inches above their tank, depending on what they're doing. If you're doing a Dutch scape where you're having a lot of plants, a lot of stems. But obviously this tank at the moment is an Iagumi, so I really don't need as much light. Really, this might be even too intense to be honest, but it should do just fine. Again, like I said, 140 par, that's pretty much perfect. Couldn't really ask for a better that is. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already kind of running more longer than I expected, but if you guys have any other questions on, even if you want me to go more in depth on the par readings, I could definitely get you some readings if I missed anything in this video for sure. But other than that, if you guys follow me on Instagram at JJ Aquariums, you can DM me there if you want to have a special request, or you can just ask me down below in the comment section of YouTube. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one.